I want to share with you a message I got a few days ago from a Facebook friend of mine named Brandon. Hey, Steve, I hope you're well. I'm sorry, man, to bother you yet again, but I have a hard ask for you, and believe me, it brings me no joy. I have debated and agonized over asking you what I'm about to ask you. Our fundraising for Meredith's treatment has totally stalled, like frozen solid. And I'll just pause here to say that I have shared this GoFundMe on social media before a couple of times. I don't think I've ever mentioned it in a video, but that's what Brandon is about to ask me here. And when he says Meredith's treatment, Meredith, his wife, is receiving treatment for breast cancer. She was diagnosed with breast cancer, and they have been struggling with that and dealing with that, not just the physical and emotional and medical part of that, but also having to pay for it, because we all live in the United States where healthcare is not a human right. It is a commodity that you have to be able to afford in order to get. So I'll continue reading from Brandon's message here. I worry people may see it, meaning the fundraiser, and think because we've raised 20K of the 40K goal that we're good to go, but that simply isn't the case. More stuff is ahead of her, including a total hysterectomy in February, not to mention prescriptions, follow-ups, you name it. What we've raised, or more accurately, what is left, is pretty well spoken for. So anything further we can get will be able to put toward everything yet to come. So my ask, would you consider mentioning her and our efforts in one of your videos? Maybe share the link in the comments at the same time. Man, I know it's your livelihood, and we're no one from nowhere. So if you won't, I totally understand. But I'm left with pretty much no other choice but to ask. I'm out of ideas, out of options. I've heard somewhere there are always possibilities, but in reality, I find that to not always be the case. If you could, consider our request, it would mean the world. And again, if not, we totally understand. Above all, I hope you aren't offended by the ask. I hope you understand that I had to try, So, and obviously I was deeply offended by the ask, and I messaged him back and I said, you can go fuck yourself. No, clearly, this is the situation that we are in. And obviously, this is not a unique case. We hear about these stories all the time. And I'm doing this and reading Brandon's actual words in the hope that maybe this video will break through the noise and enough of you will see it and hear it and sympathize with Meredith and Brandon and will be able to contribute to their fundraiser if you haven't, or if you can't afford to do it yourself, we'll at least share the link, because the GoFundMe is linked in the description of this video. Share the link around and get it in front of more people's eyes, or share this video around, and maybe that will compel them to contribute or to pass it along to others who will hopefully contribute. But this is the situation that we're in as a country, as a society. And that's the part that really offends me. Not Brandon asking, that Brandon has to ask, that Brandon and Meredith are in this situation where, in order to be able to continue to afford to give her the treatments and the procedures that she needs to stay alive and have some quality of life, he needs to come to me. He needs to ask a YouTuber for help like I'm the fucking Pope. Oh, please, would you find it in your heart to mention my case, to mention my wife in a video? And it is a fucking obscenity that anybody would ever have to do that. And I do not mind at all. Like, I messaged Brandon back. I let him hang for a few days, unfortunately, because I was busy with stuff. But I got back to him. I said, it's absolutely no problem. I'm happy to do it. But I hate that this situation even exists. So I've shared Meredith's fundraiser. I've shared Meredith's story on social media before. I am sad that it's necessary, but absolutely happy and honored to share it with you now through this video. Meredith is dealing with breast cancer and dealing with the treatment of it and dealing with the aftermath of it and the repercussions of it. And if you have been through that yourself, or if you have been close to someone who has been through that, you know exactly what that means. I've had people in my life that have had to deal with it. A lot of you who watch my live streams that I do on Wednesdays, the watch-alongs, where we watch Poirot and Deep Space Nine and kind of alternate with those. My co-host for those, Dana, who is one of my nearest and dearest, she, and I'm not telling you anything she wouldn't tell you yourself, she's been very open about it and talks about it, but she is a breast cancer survivor. Twice. She had it in her early 20s and beat it, and then it came back in her 30s and she beat it again. And she's doing great now. Everything's fine now, but yeah, it's tough. It's brutal. And it's brutal not only physically, but it's brutal financially. And that should not be the case. You might not be able to do anything about the physical brutality of it. It's a medical condition and it's a disease and it's a horrible one. And there's nothing we can really do about that except to treat it and fight it the best that science allows us. But the financial thing is totally an own goal for our species. That's totally a self-inflicted wound because we value dollars more than we value people. And because in this country, in the United States of America, supposedly the greatest country in the world, so I have been told over and over again for my entire fucking life, in this country, we treat healthcare as something that you can have if you can afford it. It's not a human right. And there are people who will fight tooth and nail to prevent it from being recognized as a human right and being made available to everybody, regardless of their ability to pay for it. So this is the situation that we're in. Brandon, who is a good guy, has to come to me and say, would you please mention us in a video so that my wife and I can afford to pay for her cancer treatments and her other medical treatments that she needs? Please. And I'm happy to do it. And God, I hope it helps. God, I hope it helps. But I hate that I have to do it. So please, if you're watching this and you can afford it, please donate to Meredith's fundraiser. It is linked in the description of this video. Please donate to it. Please help these folks out. And if you are watching and you can't afford it, and believe me, no apology or explanation necessary there. But if you are watching and you can't afford to donate yourself, please at least consider sharing this video or sharing the link to the GoFundMe around on whatever socials you have. Spread the word, get it in front of as many eyeballs as you can, and hopefully some of those folks will be able to donate and help out our friends Brandon and Meredith. Like I said, they're good people. You may have picked up from one of the lines in Brandon's message that I read. They are Trekkies. He threw in that little bit about, from Star Trek II, there are always possibilities. They're Trekkies. Not that that really matters. Not that it means a goddamn thing in the context of life and death and, healthcare. But if that matters, if it makes a difference, if that tips them over the edge for you a little bit, they're Trekkies, just like me, just like a lot of you probably, if you're watching my channel and you discovered me through my Star Trek stuff. It doesn't really matter to me, but maybe if it matters that much to you and it'll put them that much more in your good graces, they're Trekkies. And actually, Meredith is lucky that it doesn't matter to me because Meredith is a Voyager fan. So she's really fucking lucky that I don't hold that against people. But anyway, thank you so much for paying attention to this. Thank you for watching. To those of you who are planning to donate or planning to at least spread the word from me personally, and I know that Brandon and Meredith would say this as well, but just from me personally, thank you so much for your kindness and your generosity and your support for Brandon and Meredith. And hopefully they will not have to come back to me and ask me to remind you about this in the future. Hopefully this will be enough of a boost to their fundraising efforts that it'll get them over whatever hump they need to get over, and it'll be smooth sailing. I mean, as smooth as it can be given the situation from here on out. But if that's not the case, and I do need to bring this to your attention again, I almost said I will happily do so. I will not happily do it because it sucks that I have to do it, but I will do it eagerly and willingly, and hopefully that's all it'll take then. But yeah, please help out Meredith with her treatment. Please donate to the fundraiser if you possibly can, and if you can't, share this around. And Yeah, and maybe, in the long term, us Americans can get together at some point on this healthcare thing and fix it up so this kind of shit isn't necessary anymore, because this is a fucking embarrassment to our society. Don't you think? Anyway, thank you for your attention. Help out Meredith and Brandon, and happy holidays.